Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. The Galil is one of those rifles that wears its history on its receiver, sturdy, plain, and built to survive hard use. It was created to give Israeli soldiers a reliable, all-weather service rifle after lessons learned in the 1960s. The design sought a balance between the rugged reliability of the Kalashnikov family and the accuracy and ergonomics needed for modern infantry work. At its core, the Galil is a gas-operated rifle with a rotating bolt, fundamentals any serious small-arms student should know. That operating system is mechanically simple, intentionally robust, and tolerates sand, dust, and neglect better than many contemporary designs of its era. Those are not small virtues when the weapon is expected to work in desert and harsh field conditions. Early Galils drew heavy inspiration from the Finnish Valmet RK62, itself a well-executed evolution of the Kalashnikov concept. Engineers borrowed the best parts of that lineage while adding features aimed specifically at Israeli operational needs: better sights, different ergonomics, and variants tailored for different roles on the battlefield. That mix of evolutionary design and targeted innovation is part of why the Galil still interests collectors and militaries today. One of the Galil's defining design choices was modularity in form. The family includes full-length rifles, short assault rifle versions, and light support variants. Each variant was meant to perform a role: standard infantry engagement, vehicle crew or paratrooper use where length matters, and sustained fire support where a bipod and heavier handguard help. This family approach allowed the same core mechanism to be adapted without reinventing the wheel each time. The rifle's ergonomics mix old and new. The original wooden handguards and simple folding metal buttstock are classic, giving a tactile impression of durability rather than refinement. Later models and modernized upgrades replaced those wooden parts with polymers, added modern stocks, and fitted accessory rails, changes that improved handling and modularity without discarding the proven action beneath. A practical strength of the Galil is how it handles different calibers. Over its life, the platform has been chambered for common NATO rounds and other cartridges, allowing operators to choose what best fits their logistics and mission. That flexibility made it easier for several countries and specialized units to adopt or license the design. It's also a reason manufacturers later refreshed the family to accept even more modern ammunition standards. Simplicity matters a lot in a service weapon. The Galil's controls, safety, magazine release, charging handle, follow a conventional logic and are forgiving under stress. Buttons and levers are large enough to use with gloves, which sounds trivial until you consider cold weather, chemical protective gear, or the general fog of combat. That focus on usable simplicity is a recurring theme across successful military small arms. Reliability in tough environments is the Galil's reputation. Tests and field reports from diverse theaters highlighted its ability to keep firing after exposure to grit and mud. That reputation was in part why it was adopted and why later modernizations aimed to preserve the sealed, resilient internal layout while updating external ergonomics and accessory compatibility. Accuracy-wise, the Galil sits comfortably between two poles. It's typically more accurate than many first-generation Kalashnikov pattern rifles but not quite on par with purpose-built precision rifles. The trade-off is predictable. Design priorities tilted toward reliability and robustness rather than squeezing out every bit of long-range precision. 4. Typical infantry ranges and engagements. The Galil's accuracy is more than adequate. The Galil family includes a number of recognizable variants, each with clear intent. The AR is the standard rifle variant intended for general infantry use. The SAR has a shortened barrel for compactness and easier maneuvering in vehicles or tight spaces. The ARM combines rifle features with a bipod and heavier handguard for sustained fire roles. Over time, these core variants allowed units to equip troops according to role rather than compromise on a single utility rifle for every task. Modernization arrived in the form of the Galil Ace and similar upgrades. These versions preserved the machine-quality steel upper receiver and reliable internal geometry while adding a polymer lower, improved trigger, adjustable stocks, Picatinny rails for optics and accessories, and ergonomic controls tuned to today's expectations. The point was clear: keep what works, but give soldiers modern tools for sighting, mounting, and using mission kits. The Ace family further broadened caliber options and improved accuracy by addressing barrel harmonics and reducing vibration through better gas system design. Manufacturers also improved the trigger and introduced enhanced sighting systems that make the rifle more competitive in modern conflicts where engagement distances and target identification have shifted thanks to optics. These upgrades turned a proven platform into a contemporary contender. From a maintenance perspective, the Galil was designed so that armorers and soldiers could get it back into the fight quickly. Its parts list is not minimalistic by modern standards, but it avoids fragile, hard-to-replace components. That means units operating in austere conditions can keep supplies manageable and rely on a rifle that tolerates less than ideal servicing cycles. That design philosophy echoes the practical military thinking behind successful service arms worldwide. For collectors and civilian shooters in countries where legal channels allow it, older Galils are objects of fascination. The classic wooden furniture models carry a distinct aesthetic that many enthusiasts prize. Modern ACE versions appeal to shooters who want Galil reliability with contemporary controls and optics compatibility. Both camps value the rifle for different reasons, one for history and feel, the other for practical, up-to-date performance. The Galil also has an interesting industrial and export story. It was produced by Israel Military Industries and later licensed or copied in several countries. International interest waxed and waned depending on local procurement choices and the advent of new competitors. But licensing and exports show that the platform offered a viable alternative for nations seeking a robust rifle with proven lineage. Operationally, the rifle saw service in many conflicts around the world. Its deployment matched its design philosophy, where harsh environments and the need for a durable, easy-to-service rifle were priorities. The Galil found users. Those operational deployments provided real-world data that informed later improvements and the eventual modernized lines. A few design trade-offs are worth mentioning openly. The Galil's machining and heavier parts make it somewhat heavier than comparable rifles that favored stamped or lighter materials. That extra weight contributes to stability and durability but can be a factor in mobility-focused units where every kilogram counts. Modern ACE variants mitigated that by using polymer lower housings and selective lightening without altering the proven upper receiver. Sighting and optics compatibility got a major boost in the ACE era. Where original Galils relied on solid but simple iron sights, later models feature Picatinny rails and compatibility with modern red dots and magnified scopes. That makes the rifle more adaptable to varied mission profiles, from close quarters engagements with reflex sights to medium-range work using low-power optics. A technical but non-actionable note about the gas system: designers tuned the piston and gas port sizes to balance reliability and controllability. The result is a rifle that runs consistently across different ammunition types and environmental conditions, while not producing excessive recoil or uncontrollable bursts when used in full auto. That engineering balance is part of what made the Galil a practical infantry tool. Safety and training are important context. Like any military firearm, the Galil requires proper training to operate safely and effectively. Its safety lever and selector are straightforward, but proper drills, handling, and logistics training determine how well troops or users will perform with it. The rifle gives you a reliable tool, but human factors remain the defining element of performance in the field. The Galil's place in small arms history is secure for a few reasons. It synthesizes lessons from two generations of firearms thinking: the robust, tolerant Kalashnikov lineage and the accuracy, ergonomics improvements sought by smaller European designs. It also shows how a military can pragmatically adapt foreign ideas to local needs and produce a weapon that serves its forces for decades. That combination of adaptation and pragmatism is a recurring pattern in successful weapon design. If you're considering the Galil as a subject for further research, look at how the platform evolved through user feedback and combat experience. The transition from wooden stocked, simple configuration rifles to polymer lower, rail-equipped ACE variants tells a story about changing battlefield requirements and how a design can be modernized without losing its core strengths. That historical arc is instructive for anyone interested in weapons design or military procurement. For engineers and designers, the Galil shows the value of a conservative internal mechanism married to iterative external improvements. Keep the reliable action, but modernize interfaces and modular options. That approach minimizes the risk of breaking what already works while still delivering meaningful capability gains, a lesson applicable beyond small arms. Critics sometimes argue that newer, lighter platforms outpaced the Galil in terms of ergonomics or weight. That's true in a narrow sense. Materials science and manufacturing evolved, enabling lighter designs. Still, the Galil's durability and ease of maintenance kept it relevant where those attributes mattered more than marginal weight savings. The debate is fundamentally about priorities, survivability and reliability versus absolute lightness. In summary, the Galil is a thoughtfully engineered bridge between the rugged legacy of the Kalashnikov family and the modular, optics-forward needs of modern forces. It succeeded by prioritizing reliability, simple but effective ergonomics, and a family of variants that covered multiple battlefield roles. Later modernizations preserved those strengths and added the interfaces and ergonomics soldiers expect today. If you want deeper reading, explore official manufacturer pages on the Galil Ace for technical specs, and older historical write-ups to see how field experience shaped later changes. Those sources give a clear view of both the rifle's roots and its modern incarnations. Thanks for watching. If you found this deep dive useful, like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments which rifle you'd like analyzed next.